Welcome to the Blonde Runner podcast with Coach Laura Erickson, where she shares her healthy living tips as a running and triathlon coach and mother of 4.
Hi, Coach Laura Erickson here, and I just finished a run this morning. So it's getting colder. As you can see, there's a little snow on the ground. It's in November. It's that time of year we start running outdoor and it gets cold. So I wanted to talk about layering, what I do for layering, and how I prepare to run outdoors. First thing I do when I get up in the morning is check the weather, especially if I know I'm going to be running outside. So today it was in the 20s, so I knew I'd be needing layers. So I particularly like tights that have pockets in them now on the side. This way I can carry my electrolyte with me. Many of you know I love the Salt Stick electrolytes. I always carry those with me. So I love the pockets for that reason. So if you can find, and I think a lot of the tights nowadays come with the side pockets. These particularly have the reflective on them, so that makes it nice. I ran on trails and roads today, so I had a mix in my training, and I love to do that a lot. So I have to kind of prepare for both. And when you go trails, especially here now, there's snow. So a lot of things that I do, you have to be prepared for everything this time of year. You really do. So I tend to get a little cold, and so I particularly like these are like a mitten glove. See, Nathan puts these out. There's lots of great products, lots of different things. But what I like about these particular gloves is they're mitten gloves, so you can get on your phone or take pictures or whatever you need to do there, or if somebody calls you. I also can put, I like to use those little warmers, hand warmers, and I can put them right in the glove. I can put them on the top or on the bottom on this glove, so I really like that. These I use often, especially when it's cold like this. Maybe this is the time of year it gets cold and then it gets hot and it gets cold. It's kind of like a fall, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. So a lot of times I'll use just these plain stretch gloves too. So on days that maybe they're it's in the 40s or in the 30s and it's going to get warmer. And that's another thing you got to consider when you're running is, one, is it dark when you start, and is it going to get warmer as you go? So for me, it was going to get warmer today. I knew that. So, but I did dress with I used those other gloves. I didn't use hand warmers in there today, but I'm going to be using those pretty soon. So it depends on how long you're running too. So you can see that I've got this Knox Gear 360 visibility vest. I've only got it one color, but it's awesome because you can change the colors. You can make it flashing. I love it. It's like a party. They just came out with this Knox Gear light. You can see that I like it because for me, I like to wear hats when I run, especially if it's snowing, because I don't blink myself to death. And then you see I have a headband. But when you wear a headlamp, which is traditional, you can't really wear a hat. And I like the hat with the bill on it. I mean, you can wear a hat, maybe a beanie, but I like the bill on it, especially if it's snowing, so I don't blink myself to death. Anyway, like I said before, most of the time I'm running in sunglasses, in the summer, but not in the winter so much. So this vest is great because it makes me visible to the cars if I'm on the road. If I do the headlamp, it's very easy to see when I'm on the trails or the road. So it's kind of a dual purpose. It's a great thing. Other things that I usually have this little bag in my car. These are awesome little bags from Salt Lake Marathon. And then Ogden Marathon. If you need codes for either of those races, I have discount codes. Run Blonde will save you some money. So other thing that I like to do or wear is I use these little gaiters. These are it doesn't matter what brand you use or whatever. And there's taller ones, shorter ones. These are short ones. I've had these forever. Love these ones. This keeps the snow out of my shoes. I usually always wear compression socks. Short. Today I just wore short. When it gets colder, I wear the longer ones. So these are my Lily Trotters. Love those. Great product. I have discount codes. I love this stuff. So other things that I usually wear in the winter or colder weather is my trail shoes, even on the roads, because they're nubbier. They have a lot more traction on the bottom, and they're usually a little more waterproof, so that's something to consider. Other things that I take with me are my poles. So if I'm going on a trail run and I'm going down, it's more the down that I struggle with. And I've had situation, so that helps me a lot. Other thing to consider right now this time of year is to get a road ID. You don't expect accidents to happen. That's why it's called an accident. So, I've had my fair share. So, definitely encourage you to get a road ID. I particularly love the one that goes on the watch. This way, I always have my watch with me. They also have ones that they had ones that go on your shoes. You can get those. I used to have one goes on my ankle for road ID, but they don't have those anymore. But I found that this one is great because I always have my watch. You'll see I do have the double layer here. That usually does well for me, even in most temperatures. The only difference is if it's really, really a blizzard or something, I might wear a light windbreaker. You'd be amazed at how much that keeps you warm. But you always want layers. If you get warm, you're going to want to pull that off, wrap around your waist or something like that. I always dress at least 10 degrees warmer for running, and it's opposite for cycling. If you cycle in any kind of weather, you want to dress way warmer because you get colder when you're cycling, whereas running you get warmer. So something to think about there. Anyway, hopefully these were helpful tips for you, and if you want more tips, be sure to subscribe, and there should be a button above for subscription there, and I do give exclusive tips to those that subscribed. So my mouth is a little frozen still from running. Anyway, until I see you again, and I hope you take class.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. Be sure and check the show notes for resources or links that we mentioned in the show. You can also find them on my website at blonderunner.com. BLONDERUNNER.com. You can also find me on Instagram at The Blonde Runner with an E, and Coach Laura Erickson, and that's LORA. Before you forget, I hope that you will follow this podcast and like it so you don't miss an episode. Also, it really helps if you leave a review so other people can find it, and share it with your friends. Until next time, live well.